Hi everybody! Welcome to my Flosstube number 11. I can't believe it. We're at 11. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, nice to see you again. My name is Chelsea. For those of you who don't know, I am the owner and the operator and the designer of Vermont Stitchy Co. So any patterns that you see on my Etsy shop or that I show here for now are mine. Now I might show some other patterns, but I'll make sure to let you know if they're mine or not. But for right now, this is about my Etsy shop. This is my Flosstube journey. Sorry about the glare. I'm trying to turn my head so there's no glare, but it's a beautiful sunny day here today in Vermont, but it is deceiving. It is about 40, but it says it feels a little bit colder, but that doesn't matter. I've got the windows open and I'm enjoying it. Yesterday was a really lovely 66 here. So you know me, I had those windows all the way open, enjoying the fresh air and the sunshine, and it was absolutely lovely. Okay, so today we have a sleepy kitty. This little dark lump right here, that's Tyr. He's very sleepy today. Don't know why. Maybe it's the change in weather and it moving around. Shadowfax is around. You might see him down here peeking around, but we'll see if he decides to join us. But just a sleepy Tyr today. So I've got some notes. First off, the elephant in the room, I cut my hair. And when I say I cut my hair, ladies and gentlemen, I cut my hair myself. Yes, I did. You know how long it was. It was probably, almost to my chesticles, as it were. And I took two hair ties. I split my hair. I have a part, over here. It's a little, I wanted it messy today, so it's not, but normally I have a part on the side. I parted it, split it in two, took two hair bands, just wrapped them around at a level that I thought, okay, I could rock this look, whatever it is, whatever level that was. So it was about here. And I took some scissors and I went and just chopped it all off. Yes, I know that is a brave thing to do it at home. But I've been cutting my hair myself questionably well with a razor. So my sister, who is a hairdresser down in Miami, Florida, look her up if you want to. I don't know what salon she works at. I'll see if I can get it and link her. But she said using a razor is a great way to cut your hair and not have it look like this. If you use a razor, it gives it texture, it gives it different levels, so you have a little bit more freedom, and it's safer to do than a scissors straight across. So after I did scissors straight across, I went back very delicately, held the hair like that with my fingers, and took a razor and gave it some texture and some layers. So yes, I love it. I think it's great. And when you pull your hair to the front and cut it that way, when it's on the back side, it does this. So if my hair was long enough and I had put it behind, it does this. I don't know how you would get it the other way. Oh, if you put your hair behind and then cut straight, it does this. So it'll be shorter in the back and then longer in the front. So, little tangent, but yeah. So that was interesting. Last week, a couple videos ago, I'd mentioned that my cousin, he's 23 now, he's been having seizures, grand mal seizures, and now the smaller versions, since he was about 18 years old, out of the blue, suddenly. So last Wednesday, I think that was the 9th, he had his surgery. I did check in. Ooh, my shirt. I did check in. It was a 6-hour-long surgery. He had to be put under because of the location of the mass on his brain. They had to put him under. I don't want to say normally, but a lot of times you're awake for brain surgery, and you have to keep talking or doing something so that they know if they hit something and like your speech slurs or whatever. They're like, oh. So I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but that's just what I've heard. So not in my cousin's case. Because of where it was, they had to go layers under the brain to get the mass. They removed the mass. Surgery went well. He came out of it. Once he woke up, he was fine. He could talk, which was a good sign. And then over the next few days, a couple of days, his speech deteriorated from what I understand. I only get little snippets because it's a lot for my aunt and uncle to deal with, and so they're just trying to kind of cocoon themselves and just take care of their son, which I get. But he's lost his speech as far as I understand, and the ability to recall words and written words is lost right now, which is a little bit odd because when it was right after surgery he was perfectly fine. So there's a hope, perhaps it's just the swelling of the brain itself after surgery. You know, just like with any surgery, there's a bit of swelling and then it recedes as you heal. So fingers crossed that that's just the problem. And then because of where it was on this is my left side, you have to in order to get through the skull, you have to cut through the jaw muscle. The jaw muscle goes quite far back up into your ear area, so they had to cut into the jaw muscle. So him opening his mouth to chew or to do anything, it actually is quite painful. So, you know, he's dealing with that as well. So it's a lot of smoothies and a lot of soft stuff that he doesn't have to move his mouth a lot with. But he's back home. He had to stay a couple extra days in the hospital. But he's back home. My uncle said that because my uncle and aunt, they play a lot of musical instruments. And so my cousin, he also plays the drums, guitar, bass, all of that. He was able to play guitar. So, and like actually do music that he remembers. So hopefully that's a good sign. That's all I've got for updates on him, but I'm very happy that the surgery went well. Long surgery, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it will stop the seizures from happening. They think that the mass is what was causing the seizures for years. Since he was 18, he's 23 now. So hopefully it helps. We won't know really until 6 months to a year from now. They've already signed him up for speech therapy to help him get the words back, and for written therapy to help him with that too. So fingers crossed that will be okay. And then for myself, I signed up for the gym, a local gym, not one of those. I don't do those big gyms where nobody talks to each other and there's nobody ever there to help you. I don't do that. There's a local gym that I like. They're open 24/7. Sorry if you can hear that whining. That's Shadowfax hollering. He wants me to go do something. They're open 24/7. But I like to go when there's not a lot of people because it's a smaller gym physically in size, and I don't like a lot of people around me. So I started running again. You know, I do my step aerobics here at home, but I wanted to start getting back into running. I used to run a lot. It was one of the few ways that I dealt with my husband's alcoholism. So from 2017 to 2019, I was running a lot. And I would train for a half marathon, which my husband, he went with me. He didn't train, and he finished, and I was super mad. I trained for almost a year to be able to do a half marathon, which is 13.2-ish miles. And he just went out and did it, and I was pissed. However, I was happy I didn't get injured, and he did. He injured the outside, the muscle that runs down the outside of the knee. I don't know what it's called, but he injured that. So yeah, I was pissed about that. But it was fun. We went down to Disney World. We did the Star Wars half marathon. Got a little medal for it. So that was fun. But yes, anyway, so I was worried that I wouldn't be able to run because I had injured my knee because I was running too much, which is why I stopped in 2019. I had to do physical therapy to get my knee strength back, and I was a little nervous that I wouldn't be able to run, but I've gone 3 times and I've run no more than 2 miles, which is not, when you go from half marathons to doing that, it's not a lot, but actually for me, not doing it for almost 5 years, that's a lot. 2 miles is a lot to run. Easy to walk, but harder for me to run. So I'm very proud of myself for doing that. So yeah, hopefully I can make that a regular part of my routine. Okay, so enough me blabbering. That was 10 minutes long, sorry, of me blabbering. So let's get to what's new in the Etsy shop. This week I just dropped a new pattern. Again, for those of you who are new, I design all the patterns. They are full color. They also have overlay on top of the color symbols in case you have vision issues in terms of color, denoting different colors. I design everything myself. There is no AI used. I'm doing it, so you can, you know, if you choose to buy, there's no obligation here to buy my stuff, but if you choose to buy, you can be happy to know that it's not AI used and it is handmade, as it were. So, on that note, I'll give you there's Tyr, he's still sleeping. I did this pattern. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. Yeah. So these are my interpretation of possums. My husband says they look like mice. To each their own, you know, it could be a mouse in your eyes. Bluebird, little chickie, riding in an egg-shaped carriage. I did this as a Easter adjacent themed pattern. It doesn't have to be Easter if you don't want. It's very springy to me as well. It doesn't matter, like it could be both. And then, as you can see, the fabric is super, super small. It was a small piece, so I had to sew 2 pieces of fabric to the side to make it fit the width of the hoop, and then also 2 pieces of fabric on the top and bottom to make it fit the hoop, and then I adjusted it inside and cut it off. And again, I'll show you in the back. I've shown this a bunch of times, but you can see where it's sewn, hot glued down around the side so that you can't see it. Little tie at the top, and I did do a bow, and this is just a button, and I thought it looked lovely. Again, because it's not fully Easter themed, the flower button I thought was really nice. The colors complement it quite well, so I really, really liked it. That's why I chose this. Little, I don't know if you can see, the light's not the best, but little lanterns here. I left them empty because I like that look, but if you like my pattern, you can fill it in. I like purple to match. You don't have to make the carriage purple. You can make the carriage whatever color you want. But I thought this was so fun. And I want to show you that color-wise, it matches really well with the one I did last week, which is this one, which is also on my Etsy shop. Feel free. If you like it, you can. You don't have to buy it. But you can see the colors of the fabric are the same. The 14 count Aida is exactly the same. The fabric, putting it in the hoop, is exactly the same. The ribbons are 2 different colors. This is a purple ribbon and a blue ribbon. But you can see that if you would hang this up in your space to decorate, they are not matching, but they go together really nicely. But you don't have to hang them together if you don't want to. They're 2 individual patterns, so if you just like one or the other, you could choose to get one or the other, but you can also buy both. So both are up on the Etsy shop right now, and I just think they're just so sweet. Looking at this in the camera, the bluebird blends in, but in person, it pops. So I'm not sure why that happens, but you can see it. So, you know, if you don't have this color 14 count Aida, then that's okay. You don't have to use blue. You can do whatever you want. Same with this. And if you don't like the color of the bunnies, you can choose bunnies that are your own, or you don't like the color of the eggs, choose a different one. That's the wonderful thing about cross stitch, is you can make it your own, make it match your decor. You can see these will probably would work really nicely in here because of the aqua wall, and this is purple. It's not coming off well, but this wall is purple, and it would look nice. But you can make it your own, and that's so fun with cross stitch. I just love that. So I'm gonna put these down for a second. I want to show you what I'm working on right now. So this is, the hope is to get this out next week. So Easter, I think, is this weekend. So we're getting into towards that May time. So the first few weeks of the month, I do that month themed pattern, and then I move on to the next month. I mean, that's the goal. It doesn't always work that way, but that's the goal. So this is now for May. So we've got here, I'm calling it lily pad. This will be a beautiful frog, and there'll be some, I don't know if they're lilies. I don't think they're lilies, but whatever these flowers are that are on lily pads, maybe they are lilies, but this is what I'm doing. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. There'll be some bugs as well. But very spring, very May. We're getting into, not here in Vermont, but a lot of other places already have flowers out. It's warmer there, so I thought this would be a lovely piece. I dyed this Rit dye, and I'll put a link in the description box for Rit dye. You can get it at Michael's, probably Hobby Lobby too. I don't know about that, but I got it at Michael's, and they come in dozens of colors. Absolutely beautiful. And the more Rit dye you put in, the darker it is. I only put a capful in, but I chose this blue because it gives the illusion that the lily pad is on top of the water. So when it's all stitched up, you won't see the blue underneath, but you'll see it here. So I thought that was really nice. So that I think will be really fun. So I'm gonna make this a shorter video today because my husband is sick, and so he ran out to do a few errands, so I wanted to get this video out real quick and do it because I don't like to make videos when he's around, because then he pokes his head in and he's like, I'm here, and I'm like, okay, go. Thank you, but no. And also, I don't like filming in front of people. I'm very shy. I don't like acting in front of people. I would make a terrible actress. Has anybody seen Pitch Perfect, where the girl who just mumbles her words and is like, blah, 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 blah. That's me in acting. Being on stage in front of people is one of the scariest things ever in the world for me. So I'm just blah, 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 blah. So to have him be here and me knowing he's here, even if he's in the basement really, really far away and can't hear, I can't handle that. So he left to do some errands, so I'm gonna keep this short. So finally, the last thing I want to discuss is, so last week I made it to 50 subscribers. I'm growing every day, which is lovely. I'm almost at 60, which is really great. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. And I want to continue to do the giveaways. So last week, for the 10th video, I did a giveaway, and so for 5 people you could go on my Etsy shop and you can pick a pattern. You would just have to answer the question. So only one person has done it, which is like way more than I thought anybody would ever be interested in my stuff. So I will give that giveaway, that winner, a shout out, and then you will have to email me. I'll put my email in the description box below, and you will tell me which pattern you want, and I will get that over to you. So but we have 4 more, so I'm only gonna make it go for 1 more week, so till next Wednesday, when my next Flosstube comes out. So if you are interested, please go to my Etsy shop. Please look in the description box. The link is in the description box. Go to my Etsy shop, take a look, see if there's a pattern that you like. You can also hold on to your winnings, and you know, if I pick you, then you would just say, hey, can I just hold it? I want to wait until blah 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 season to see what you have. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to use it right away. But the first winner is, I'm gonna say your name wrong, Ann Z. Bikowski. That's ANNZBIKOWSKI 4198. That is your YouTube name. That is the name that shows up when you answered the question. So please email me. Again, my email is in the description box below. Shoot me an email. In the subject line, please put your name there and your name and like pattern winner. That way I know you're not spam. So again, there are 4 more people can win. You don't have to choose right away. If you want to hold off for a season or for a little bit, that's perfectly fine. You can hold off until your favorite season shows up, but I do need you to email me. If you don't email me, I can't give you, and then yeah, so anyways, we'll do that. 1 more week. Just answer the question. So you need to go back to the week 10 Flosstube and answer the question that's in the video. In the video, I did a little tricky tricks and I wrote a question out in the comment section to get the conversation going. That's not the question you want to answer. Please watch the video and answer the question that's in the video itself. Okay, everybody, under 25 minutes, oh, our pig's flying. Let's wrap this up. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy some stitching. I hope you do. If you celebrate Easter or Passover, I hope you have lovely celebrations. I think it's Passover. Isn't it Passover? I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Can you hear Shadowfax? He's hooting and hollering in the background. Have a lovely weekend, rest of your week. I hope you get some good stitches in, that you have something that you enjoy. Even if you don't enjoy cross stitching, but you like crafting, I hope you get that in because it's a wonderful springtime. It's here and I'm so excited. Have a lovely day. See you guys next week. Bye. There's Tyr.